Hello students, welcome to my channel The Science World, and if you find this video useful for you, then please like, comment and share with your friends. Also subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get notification of my upcoming videos. Students, in our last video we have discussed about the wool. Okay, in this video we are going to discuss about the silk fiber, and the topic is same, that is fiber to fabric. Okay, so let's start. Silk is obtained as a long continuous strand from the thread-like filaments which the silkworm spins around itself to form a cocoon. Okay, and these cocoons, do you know what is cocoon? Cocoon is a pupa stage of this silkworm. In its life cycle, it is the pupa state, just after the larva, and this is the stage that we can say the cocoon is the life stage of the silkworm from which we get the silk. Okay, so what is silk? It is a natural protein secreted by the larva of the silkworm. It is the natural protein that is secreted by the larva of the silkworm, and this fiber is also soft, strong, durable and lustrous. It is soft to touch or smooth to touch, then it is durable, it can last for many years, then it is lustrous. Lustrous means it has shine. Its luster makes it an extremely desirable and expensive fabric. Silk fiber or silk fabric is very expensive because of its luster and its other properties. Since it is also a protein like a wool, silk fiber is also a protein or proteinous fiber like wool, and so it shrinks away from the flame and burns with the smell of charred meat. We can say charred meat means the meat which is burned. Okay, and it does not melt or emit the smell of burning plastics like artificial silk do when they are burnt. When artificial silk are burned, they give the smell of burning plastics, but when the original or pure or the natural silk is burned, it gives the smell of charred meat, or we can say the smell of burning hair, that is protein. The rearing of silkworm on a commercial scale to produce silk is known as sericulture. What is sericulture? The rearing of silkworm on a commercial scale to produce silk. This is known as sericulture. Okay, you can see the different clothes, and here the saris are there, they are made up of silk. China is the world's largest producer of silk, followed by India. In our country, silk farming is carried out in the states of Assam, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. These are the states in India where this silk farming is carried out. And China is the world's largest producer of the silk, and then India is there. Okay, discovery of silk. Now how this silk is discovered? It is a story, so let's see what is it. Silk was used in China around 27th century BC. That means it is the discovery of silk is in China. It was found or made in China. Silk was used in China around 27th century BC, though its exact date of discovery is not known. But according to a Chinese legend, silk was discovered by Empress Xi Longqi. Xi Longqi was the empress of China that time in 27th century, and she was asked by the emperor Huang Ti. Huang Ti was the emperor, and emperor asked her to search for the reason that was damaging the mulberry leaves in the palace garden. They were having mulberry leaves in their garden, palace garden, and these mulberry leaves were damaged by some insects. So this empress discovered caterpillars that are feeding on the leaves and building their cocoons. In order to destroy the problem, she put a cocoon in hot water, and what happened? She was surprised to see that the delicate single thread unwind itself, means from that cocoon a single thread was discovered or it is removed, and this was how silk was discovered in China. Okay, silk production was kept a secret by the Chinese for 30 centuries. Near about 30 centuries it was kept secret in China, but afterwards they traded this material with other countries. So the silk was first discovered in China, and you can see the pictures. These are the pictures of 17th or 27th century in China. You can see here the process of rearing silk or making silk from the silk cocoons. That time the silk route was born, means the silk that is manufactured in China, it was exported in other countries. Okay, and by which route? You can see on the screen the map is there. This is known as silk route. This red color road you can see, it is silk route, and this silk route connected China to the Central Asia here. Okay, and northern India also, Central Asia, northern India, Roman Empire here, and the Mediterranean Sea, means the areas around the Mediterranean Sea here, the Middle East, we can say now it is known as Middle East. So Europe, Middle East, India, these are the places, or these were the countries to which this silk was exported from China. China was exporting silk to these countries, and this was the route they followed. This route is known as silk route. Okay. Then life cycle of a silk moth. Silk moth is the insect from which we get the silk fibers. Okay, so we should know that what is the life cycle of this silk moth. So let's start. There are 4 stages in the life cycle of a silk moth, that is egg, larva, pupa and adult. So we will start with the eggs. Okay, so these eggs, the female silk moth lays hundreds of eggs, which are just you can see these small dots on the leaf. Okay, these are small eggs that are laid on the mulberry leaves. The larva of this silk moth is known as caterpillar or a silkworm. When this larva hatches from the egg, it is known as caterpillar, okay, or a silkworm. You can see here, these are the larva. The larva feeds, larva is the second stage of the life cycle of a silk moth. Okay, this larva feeds on mulberry leaves. This mulberry leaves, it feeds on it continuously, and it grows in size, and during this growing time it shades its skin 4 times. How many times? 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th time when it shades its skin, it becomes pupa. Okay, this process of shading the skin to grow a new one is known as molting. Okay, so how many times it shades its skin? 4 times. Okay, then next stage is the pupa stage, or we can say cocoon stage. Here you can see the cocoons. At the end of this period, means at the end of the larval period, this larval period, or we can say caterpillar stage, the silkworm climbs the branch of a tree and attaches itself to it by weaving a net. It weaves a net. This caterpillar, it weaves a net and it attaches itself on a or to a branch of the tree. Okay, and then what happens? Then it starts spinning a cocoon. It starts spinning a cocoon around itself, means like this, you can say it spins around itself. Okay, the salivary glands present in larva's head, salivary glands that are present in the larva's head, they secrete a sticky fluid or proteinous fluid which is wound around the body's in a long continuous thread, just like this, long continuous thread. Okay, the protein solidifies when it comes in contact with the air, and it forms the silk fiber. This liquid form, or this liquid thread, we can say it solidifies, means it becomes solid when it comes in contact with the air, and it becomes the silk fiber. The head swings from side to side and draws the figure of 8. This spinning of the cocoon, it takes place in the form of 8, like this, and then it continues to spin, it continues the spinning, and it forms the cocoon. Okay, the process takes place 3 to 7 days to complete, and then the larva continues to develop inside the cocoon. Inside the cocoon, the larva is also growing, it is developing, and this is known as the pupa state. Okay, pupa stage. Then the last stage is adult silkworm. What happens here? When the worm matures inside the cocoon, here when it matures inside the cocoon, it secretes a fluid which dissolves the silk fibers of the cocoon. Here we can say, here it dissolves the silk fiber, that what we can say, the fluid which is secreted by this adult moth, it dissolves this silk fiber, and from here it emerges out, and it comes out from this cocoon, it comes out from this cocoon. Okay, so then this adult worm or adult silk moth, it again lays eggs, and the process is repeated. Okay, so this is all about the life cycle of the silk moth. You can see the diagram or picture here. These are the eggs, this is the larva or caterpillar, this is the pupa stage, and this is the adult moth. Then next we will see the production of silk. Okay, rearing of silkworm. See, the eggs that are laid by the female silk moths, they are collected. These are the eggs that are laid by the female silk moth, and they are collected and they are hatched in an incubator. Now what is incubator? Incubator is a machine in which the temperature is what we can say, temperature is maintained, means whatever the desired temperature range we want, we can adjust it according to our need. So these incubators give the required temperature for these eggs for hatching. The eggs, they are kept under the hygienic conditions and provided with optimum temperature and humidity for hatching. So these eggs, they need hygienic conditions, otherwise they will get spoiled, and they are made to hatch at the time when the mulberry trees grow new leaves, because we know that the larva of these silk moth, they need lots of food while they are growing, and that's why they are they are made to hatch at the time when the mulberry trees grow new leaves, so that we can provide lots of food to them. These worms are kept on a rearing trays. Here you can see this rearing tray is there, and it is made up of bamboo, mostly they are made up of bamboo. Okay, these worms that are hatching from these worms that are hatching from the eggs, they are kept on the rearing trays, and they are fed on freshly chopped mulberry leaves. These are the mulberry leaves, and they are chopped, they are fresh, and they are fed to these worms, that is caterpillars or silkworms. Okay, and they feed on these mulberry leaves for 25 to 30 days. How many days? 25 to 30 days. They feed on these leaves almost continuously, they are feeding continuously, and then they move into the tiny chambers of the tray, or they are provided with the twigs or branches to spin the cocoons. Here you can see the chambers on the trays, and these chambers are made for the making cocoons for this silkworm. The caterpillar is killed once this stage is complete. Otherwise, what happened? We have just read that when this pupa stage is completed, that time this adult, or we can say fully grown moth inside the pupa stage, it secretes a fluid, and that dissolves the silk fiber, that is cocoon, and it can come out. So these caterpillars, they are killed in the cocoon only, and thus they do not damage the fiber. Okay, so this is the cocoon of the silkworm. You can see here white colored or creamish color it is. The cocoon is formed of a single continuous thread of about 1.5 kilometer in length. If you measure the length of the thread of a cocoon, it will be near about 1.5 kilometer in the length. Okay, these are the cocoons. Now next step is cooking in processing the silk. The silk fiber is obtained from the cocoon by killing the insect inside it, that we know, and the worms that are killed when the cocoons are exposed to the sun, or they are kept in the ovens, or they are exposed to the steam, or they are boiled into the water. Means and this process is known as cooking, the process in which large number of cocoons, they are boiled. Here you can see they are boiling in the large tanks or a pan, they are boiling, and this boiling of cocoons is known as cooking. And because of this cooking, the insect or the worms inside the cocoons, they are killed. So the killing of the insect is done by the exposure of these cocoons to the heat of the sun, or it can also be done by the boiling in water, or it can be exposed to the steam or treating them in the ovens, and this process is known as cooking. Then the boiling, because of boiling what happens, the sticky substance of the cocoons, it dissolves in hot water and the fiber separates out. Here you can see these fibers, they are separated from the cocoon, and it is because of the boiling cocoons in the hot water. The method of obtaining the silk fiber from these cocoons, it is known as reeling, or it is also known as filature. So reeling is done either manually, here you can see it is done manually, okay, or they are done or it is done by special machines when the silk fibers are delicately unwound. Okay, so machines are also used, and it can also be done with the hands, that is manually. The fibers from 4 to 8 cocoons are joined. Here you can see 4 to 8 cocoons, they are joined, and then they are twisted to produce the silk yarn, and this silk is called raw silk. Raw silk means the silk which is obtained from the cocoons, just twisting the thread fiber, silk fiber. The soft silk yarn is as long as or as strong as a thread of steel of the same thickness. Means the we can say the strength of the silk fiber is just like the strength of a steel rod of the same thickness. So it is very strong, and it has high strength. Then next is, you can see here again these fibers, you can see here it is done with the help of machines. These are the machines, it is done manually. Then next we will see the different varieties of silk. There are different varieties of silk fiber depending on the kind of silkworm that are producing them. So silk fiber quality is depend on the quality of the silkworms. So mulberry silk is the most common variety of silk fiber. Then other like Tassar silk, Moga silk, Eri silk, this is Eri silk, then mulberry silk, Kosa silk. These are some popular varieties of silk in our country. And the quality of the silk fiber depends on the rearing of the silkworm, that is the quality of the leaves that we feed to the silkworms, then the incubation temperature and reeling processes that is carried out. Means when we obtain or when we remove these cocoons from the trays, and when we keep them in boiling water, that time the temperature of this boiling water, it is also very important. Then the temperature in the incubators, it is also important. Then the quality of the mulberry leaves that are fed to the silkworms, it is also very important. So all these things, they are done with very carefully they should be These processes should be done, then only we can get the good quality silk. In India, many women employed in the rearing of silkworms, reeling of silkworm, reeling of silk from the cocoons, and also in the silk production industry. So women are the important part of this silk industry. Then next we have the health hazards of the workers in the wool and sericulture industry. In the wool industry, the workers engaged in the sorting get infected by the bacteria called anthrax, and it causes a deadly disease of blood known as Salter's disease. So Salter's disease it is a disease of blood, and it is deadly disease, means people can die with that, and it is caused by the infection of anthrax bacteria. In the sericulture industry, the workers are generally affected by the respiratory diseases such as asthma and bronchitis. Why? Due to the inhalation of vapors during cooking, steaming and reeling processes, because people or the workers, they are standing for this all the processes continuously, and they are inhaling the same air which is around them. Severe headache, body ache, fever, neck pain, low back pain, eye problems are few other health disorders which are also observed. This is caused because the workers have to stand for 12 to 16 hours continuously during the reeling process, and skin infections also occur due to the constant dipping of the hands in boiling water for exposing them to the steam. So cooking, steaming, these all the processes are there in the sericulture industry, and these are very harmful for the people that are working there. Then another bad effect is noise produced from the spinning and winding machines cause hearing problems, because continuously these machines are running and making noise. These type of health hazards or risks that are faced by the workers of these industries, they are called occupational hazards. Okay. Then mulberry silk is the main variety of silk produced in India. About 90% of the mulberry silk comes from Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Then a single caterpillar produces nearly 300 meter of silk thread. A single caterpillar produces nearly 300 meter of silk thread. To produce 1 kg of raw silk, we require about 5,500 silk moth. For producing 1 kg of raw silk, we require 5,500 silk moths. It is a big number. So here we have finished this topic also. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe my channel. Also share it with your friends. We will meet again in our next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.